Tere! Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join the virtual Hannover Messe from Estonia, and I want to congratulate you all for making it happen digitally. It is in times like this where we are forced to adapt, innovate and take bold steps forward to survive and to thrive. In just one single year, we have taken a giant leap forward in the digitalization of business operations. COVID has pushed us into a new era, a more digital one. Whilst the old and trusted ways of doing business will return in some shape or form, it is also clear that digitalization has come here to stay and to grow. In order to remain competitive in this challenging period, it is crucial to integrate new concepts and smart solutions in our business models and manufacturing processes. It is precisely in this area where Estonia and our companies stand out as reliable and trustworthy partners. Our 25 years of experience in building a digital country and solving problems through smart solutions has made Estonia a leading digital nation in the world. You could even say that doing things digitally has become our DNA in Estonia, both in the public and private sectors. And we are more than excited to offer our expertise and knowledge to new partners. The new industrial revolution has already started. I am confident that you will find Estonian companies will be your trusted partners in this journey ahead. Let's do business together, and thank you very much.
Hello and welcome to the Estonian contribution to the Hannover Messe 2021. My name is Florian Marcus. I am a digital transformation advisor here in Estonia, but today I will be the moderator for what promises to be a very exciting panel. We will talk about digital society equaling smart industry. We have several representatives from the digital industry here in Estonia. We have Doris, who is the CEO at the Estonian ICT cluster. We've got Triin, who is the manager at the Federation of Estonian Engineering Industry. And we have Arno, who is the managing director at the Estonian Electronics Industries Association. First of all, hello and welcome to all of you. Thanks so much for being here. So today we will talk about how Estonia's digitalization trailblazers raise the global bar for automation in various different industries. And I think the first question that we should start with, and I would like to start with you, Doris, is how has Estonia's digital society affected the smart industry overall, in your opinion?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. It's very nice to be here. When I think that the Estonian ICT sector is quite significant for Estonia. We have almost 5,000 Estonian IT companies, and those companies are generating like 4 billion euros annual revenue, and they are today exporting in more than 150 countries. But the case is that we are especially well known in the world regarding our e-governance experience and solutions. But if we think about this experience, then I see that these things, what we have done, are actually very well also replicable in industries. So if you think that in our digital society, 99% of e-services are used in online. We can use all the public services in online. The data inquiries, we submit the data only once, and we ask the data from different databases in the integrated way. So that is what we're doing in the e-governance field. But actually, the same thing, when we speak about the smartest industry, the same thing are also very important there in the industries, in the factories. How to use the data in your business, in how to integrate in the safest way all the systems, all the machines. So that's where the connection is the strongest, I think. But what is also very important, I think, when we build the digital society, the collaboration between the public sector and between the private sector was the critical part there, this kind of public-private partnership. And I think this is something where we in Estonia are also strong, the collaboration in cross-sectorally between the sectors. Digital-minded leaders in other sectors, proactive ICT sector, and that's how we connected in the digital society, and that's how we can connect also ourselves in the smartest industry part.
Absolutely. What I pick out from that is especially that you've got this digital mindset that comes from the government but also goes into the private sector, even though some industries might not be that connected to digital services per se. And I guess this is where I would want to go to Triin, with the Estonian engineering industry. How are these two sectors connected? What's the influence of the Estonian e-government sphere?
Thank you for your question. Maybe a little bit about our sector. We are really well known in Estonia. We have 2,200 companies who are working here, and also we are giving jobs to 35,000 people actually, which is like a really a huge sector. And I can say it's really like a rich sector because we have mechanical engineering, we have machine building, we have metal construction, and so on, so on. It's really like rich, and I can say that in Estonia, we can say it's like one-stop shop, because if somebody is looking for something in Estonia, it's really easy to manage, to get some electronics parts, to get some another plastic, whatever actually. And what about the smart industry? We have really like strong digital platforms. We have digital competencies, and I can say that the whole ecosystem is working to do our industrial area much more effective, much more better, to give some new innovation to products, to how to produce something. So I can say yes, it's our country is so small, and all participants in this ecosystem are really active to make things better.
You mentioned that Estonia is quite small, so obviously also for Estonia the incentive to go abroad with its companies is much higher than it would be for countries like Germany. And also the nature of the small market usually means that the companies know each other quite well. So exactly what you mentioned, the one-stop shops, means that if you come from abroad, whether it's Germany or any other country, and you want to get a solution done overall, you might approach one Estonian company and they say, yes, we can do most of that, but we also have 2-3 partners that do the rest of that. And we've already got experience of working with them, which I think helps both sides really keep the costs down and deliver the solutions faster. Arno, what are your thoughts on this? How does the e-government sector relate to the electronics industries for your point of view?
Thank you for the question. I think it's in a way a two-way street, because first of all things digital, computers, communication, it's all done on electronics products, because really computers, telecom equipment, it's all electronics, and that's what we design and build here in Estonia as well. Now, we have a long history actually in that field also, because early computers are perhaps not so reliable and not everybody understood what it's all about. And it took a lot of electronics engineers actually to figure it out. So we were among the first sectors really to embrace the computers fully. And today we cannot really live without them, because electronics being very delicate, very tiny components are used and so forth. So it cannot be done really manually. It's all automated nowadays. Design is done using the CAD programs, simulation programs are being used. And of course, all other aspects of production and managing the company is digitized as well. Planning, forecasting, communicating with suppliers and customers, all other processes internal to the factory, quality management. There's lots of data being collected, and it's, as Doris mentioned, it's really all about how to use the data.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would like to stick with you for another question. you've mentioned a bit of the history already, so like how it all came together. What sets the Estonian electronics industry apart from its counterparts and its competitors across Europe?
We are not newcomers in electronics really, because we are over 100 years of history in electronics in Estonia. We built the first telephone factory in 1907 already, and we've been growing ever since. So today we have the world-class industry in place. We cover the whole value chain from product development, R&D, manufacturing, after sales, and we also take care of recycling and refurbishing of products. So have complete sector in place.
Very well. I would start the next question. Well, I will ask to all of you, so don't worry. But maybe to Triin first. How did COVID-19 affect your Estonian industry sector?
So yes, the world is really absolutely different, and the economy has been really dynamic. And we actually thought it's going to be much more crazy, but actually we can say that we are still alive, and really interesting things are happening in companies. I even can say that we have some positive aspects if we are talking about pandemic. And for example, our leadership projects are changed because some of people are working homes, for example, and everything is changing, how to manage all these things. I can say that we have many investments projects which are continuing. We are working with new digital projects, how to make our manufacturing better, how to make innovation in companies, and so on, so on. So yes, it's really like difficult to manage all these things, but I can say like after pandemic, world has changed, companies has changed.
I don't want to get too much back into the whole e-government sector, but maybe that's just the hat that I am wearing the entire time as a digital transformation advisor. But the fact that in Estonia for 20 years now, basically, we've had digital signatures, electronic IDs, so like signing contracts, agreeing on projects and so on. This has been done online in Estonia for quite some time, and that's why it was also easier for us to adapt. Being German myself, it was a lot of it was quite impressive to come to Estonia 5.5 years ago and to realize how much would be done online already and has been done for almost 2 decades. So I think that certainly contributes to that. Doris, what is your thought on this topic about COVID-19 affecting your part of the industry?
I think first I have to agree with you that yes, when we think when I take the citizen shoes, then yes, it was easier because everything still worked for the citizens as it have been worked, all these online solutions. But when I look now the business side and ICT sector, then what I saw during that time that regarding the business to business approach, it was more work for the ICT sector, actually. And why? It was because it's, let's say the companies the other sectors, who for that time were more digitalized, automated, they reacted, they had the capability to react to the crisis like faster, to rechange their productions, change their value chains. They were more competitive. But the ones who were before the crisis, let's say a little bit like hesitators regarding the digitalizations, now had a rapid need to change and collaborate with the ICT sector. They had to think out like very fastly the new things, new approaches, how to work with their clients, how to communicate with their clients, find the new ways for that, how to communicate with the suppliers, and also that how to do the work remotely and to have more contactless way. I think what was interesting, I saw that let's say the little bit shiftment move from the production side. And all the digital solution from the productions shifted a little bit and moved for the human approach. What I think it's very important because now it was more important than ever that how it's possible to work contactless, how to have the more mobile ways for working, also in the manufacturing industries, and what kind of possibilities we have there. So this like a human-centric approach, I think we're more focused now. During this crisis.
Now, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic is every single life that is affected is a tragedy overall. I think it's fair to say. But the additional work that you described sounds mostly like positive work. So that more and more companies realized that digitalization is no longer optional. So that, which is obviously, you're representing the ICT sector. I guess there was a bit of additional revenue for that also. And I think what we will benefit from around the world is that there will be a stronger focus on interoperability, that, as you said, compatibility as well, that these different authorities and companies can actually talk to each other in a digital manner as well. Arno, what is your impression of COVID-19? How has it affected your industry?
Well, we were not exception, of course. We were affected by that. Of course, first and foremost, we worry about our people. We want our people to stay healthy. But otherwise, it was both challenges and also opportunities. Clearly, the supply chains were disrupted, especially initially. But on the other hand, there was a huge demand for medical equipment, which is again today mostly electronics. There was increasing demand for telecom services because a lot of work has been done remotely and networks had to be upgraded. 5G rollout continued. So telecom and medical electronics companies were doing rather well. There was some hiccup in the automotive sector. So automotive electronics companies had some challenging times when the conveyors were stopped. Now they're running at double speed. So overall, industry remained pretty much on a same level. We didn't see any significant drops. It varied from company to company, of course. On the other hand, yes, we had to change our supply chains. We saw increasing demand for production here in Europe. Again, people are trying to move their suppliers closer, and Europe is a huge market, so we see a lot of things happening here. Although exports also continued, the United States is still the biggest market for us today. Not just our neighbors, Finland and Sweden, but also the US is number one for several years already. So yes, as all changes, it creates both challenges and opportunities, and we have to cope with them. It's been also a rather demanding time for R&D and scientists. A lot of people are trying to invent new ways to cure disease or to diagnose COVID. So there are some interesting developments also here in Estonia. So things are happening.
If I could just add a follow-up question there, what do you think why those market and supply chains, they're moving closer back towards Europe again? What is your impression there?
Well, people realized that having a single source somewhere on the other side of the world might not always be, it might be cheap initially, but when disruptions start, then things get difficult. And now we have this huge container ship stuck in the Suez Channel. Well, that's another example.
Yeah, I just obviously we're recording this right now. So right now it is happening this week. So we hope that the tiny traffic jam that has been created will be fine by the time that you see this. But very well. Let's look into our crystal ball, maybe sort of for 1 minute each. What does the future hold for your respective industries? Doris, let's start with you.
I think when we speak about future factors, then the digital solutions or digital enablers, such as 5G, IoT, artificial intelligence, machine learnings, they will be more important than ever. Because the complexity of infrastructure, because of the increasing data volumes. So it means that we need in the future the AI-based solutions, future factories, also cloud-based solutions in order to deal with this amount of data, in order to use them for your business in the right way. This is something I think what the future brings. And there I see that this kind of cross-sectoral collaboration is more important than ever. And this is one advantage, I think, what you get from Estonia when you collaborate with Estonian partners, that they have this kind of, thanks to the digital society, we have their successful environment for experimenting. And we can test faster, collaborate between the sectors and be faster in here doing innovation and testing. And this is something what for the future is our advantage.
Some of us might be sick of hearing the word synergy already by now, but it is a very topical word, and it will certainly become increasingly important, especially for the three sectors that are present here today. Yeah. Arno, I would give the word to you. What are the future plans for your industry? Where do you think it's going, and what are the factors determining the future for you?
Well, we are very optimistic because, again, we see the increasing need for electronics. As it was mentioned, all the communications, IT, artificial intelligence, IoT, it's all based on electronics. You really cannot run the software on sticks and stones. You need computers for that. And that's what we build. And obviously we can help other sectors. Nowadays, every machine, every product you really sell must be smart and connected, which means that you need electronics inside and you need some software to run inside and outside of the product. So the future looks very bright for us.
Fingers crossed for all of us, or as we do in Germany, we also hold our thumbs, which we do in Estonia, by the way, as well. Triin, what are your thoughts for the engineering side of things? What's the future like?
I can say that at the moment we have really focused like all robotics projects, digitalization projects, automation, everything. So what is going to happen next is that we are going to work more with product development, with new innovation projects and so on. And I'm totally agree with Doris that, and Arno that actually collaboration between all sectors is going to be really active. And I think we are going to do more things together with another sectors, and value chain is coming more near and near. So I think it's going to be a really interesting and useful time to everybody.
And a very bright time it will be indeed for all of us. What I can really confirm, and I think what we also were able to take away from this exciting panel discussion, is that Estonia has turned into a highly connected, extremely smart one-stop shop that can deliver all of the different requirements that you may have, whether you're in Germany or elsewhere. So this would be all from us for this introductory panel session. I hope that you had plenty of fun and got some information along the way as well. So we will stay in touch. Please all stay healthy, and we'll see you for the next presentation as well. Have a good day.
Thank you.